The concept quickly became, if I removed chaos, confusions, logistics, and I put systems, teams, and learning in place, could I double what everybody said was impossible? Could I defy logic? And that became the push behind what we were doing is I can do this better, and I want to learn from my mistakes in the past. And I really want to showcase that I did what said the first time, and I'm going to double it, and I'm going to put my entire career on the line, and every accolade that I've ever had, I'm going to put that on the table, and let's go.
Welcome to our Industrial Advisors podcast. You have Bill Condon and Matt McGregor. We have a guest that we both are extremely excited about today, James Lawrence, also known as the Iron Cowboy. We saw and listened to James give a keynote presentation at the IAMC conference in Indianapolis this year. One of my favorite keynotes I've ever heard. And we hear a lot of them.
My favorite, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really impressive. So it's great to have James here. James has a phenomenal story. He did 50 Ironmans in 50 states in 50 days. And then further, after that fact, and I'll let James kind of tell the story, did 100 Ironmans in 100 days. And just a great message.
By the way, I thought it was 101.
It is. Yeah,
that's what
we don't advertise 101 because it's a massive teaching point when I'm on stages to kind of drop that because, yes. And I'll share this real quick if it's okay at this juncture. Yeah, Day 101 was incredibly significant for me personally and also for my messaging going forward. So there's this really cool story, and it's true. It's called the Marathon Monks. And, you know, Bill, you're into running, and so you'll really like this. These monks in Japan, it's called Mount Hianai, and they would run, I'm not sure if that's the pronunciation, but they would run the circumference of it, and it was about a marathon. And these monks, they take on 1,000-day challenge to do a marathon a day, a marathon to an ultra marathon a day with meditation and practices. Now, here's the kicker. Any monk can start at any time and commit to this process. But when you can quit any time between day 0 and day 100. But if you start day 101, you have to go all the way through. And if you don't, it's self-sacrifice, take your own life on the trail. And if you go to the mountain now and walk the circumference, there's actual monuments of marathon monks that didn't make it and took their own lives as a ritual. And so day 101 was symbolic of a level of excellence and a commitment to the process from now going forward. You did something incredible, but now what are you going to do? You're going to keep talking about that, or are you going to continue on your journey and do amazing things? And so day 101 is insanely symbolic. For me, it was a message to myself, to my family, to my community, that excellence doesn't stop when you reach a goal or accomplish it. It is a commitment for a long period of time that you stay to and you keep showing up and performing.
That's unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the message was great that you delivered, but just mental toughness, right? And like the ability and just believing that you can go do things that you didn't think you would ever have a chance of doing was really just a powerful message. So the whole presentation was great, but just a lot of good key takeaways for me.
Yeah, thank you.
There was so much positive, and I was following your story live. I was doing triathlons during the time, so I was totally into what you were doing. You hit on, I mean, everything you were talked about on stage was positive. So I hate to kick off with my first question on the negative side, but I think it was so moving when you outlined the fact that you did the 50, and there was criticism online because one day there was a storm. I think it was a typhoon, right? And you did some of the stuff inside because of this typhoon. It was for the listeners, again, it was 50 Ironmans in 50 states in 50 days. And one of the days you went inside, and we're doing it, I think, a combination of the pool and treadmill because of the typhoon. And the amount of criticism that you got online was so significant, it was ridiculous. And so talk to us about that, if you would.
Yeah, I think there's an incredible lesson in this. And, in the moment, I was super embarrassed. I was a failure. I was all these things. And it's been one of the greatest gifts to come from the 50 because of the message that I get to share now. And what had happened was we were in North Carolina the day before. It was super hot. And we were obviously massively fatigued. We were doing something that nobody in the world had done. And I fell asleep while riding my bike, and I crashed and had some injuries and some stuff. So we didn't know if we were going to be able to continue. Finished that Ironman that day, drove to Mississippi through the night, and woke up to hurricane conditions. And we'd been chasing and following this hurricane for 3-4 days now. So we knew it was out there, but we were in the eye of it when we hit Mississippi. And it was a moment where we were just like, okay, we know what the end goal is. And perfect game plans always don't go to plan. And you have to have the ability to adapt and pivot and deal with what's happening in the moment. And we, at the time, it made the best decision we could to continue the campaign to try to raise the funds and awareness for the charities that we were working with. And really the alternative was pack up and go home and do what, right? And so this wasn't a sanctioned event. This wasn't all these things. And so it was our rules, our trying to do the best we could. And, in the moment, it was just devastating because the public came after us. And I've just really learned that whether you're doing great or you're doing terrible, the public's going to come after you either way. And right. So you have to be okay with the decisions you're making. And we can only base those decisions off of the experiences we're having in the moment and what we believe is right for the moment. And not all decisions work out, and some are bad. But that decision, I still stand by it. It was the best decision for my safety, my team's safety, the participants that came to show up with us that day in Mississippi for their safety. I mean, I can show you the footage. It's in the documentaries that are on Prime. I mean, it was very dangerous. Like, don't go outside, you will die.
And we'll put the footage in the footnotes, by the way.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, it was just an amazing thing that happened that in the moment I was just devastated, but I'm so grateful that it happened.
Yeah, and on that, I remember you gave us statistics, and if you could remember it, great. If you can't, that's okay. But you gave a statistic like that percentage of time that you spent inside versus the percent of comments that it was. Right? Something like that. That equation was very interesting.
Yeah, what was, again, very valuable moment here. That moment in Mississippi for some of the miles, because we did a lot of the miles outside, and we were like, this is crazy, it's too dangerous, we got to go inside. It ended up being 0.24% of all of the miles completed that year. And that's how a lot of people operate in life, is they allow 0.24% of an entire 100% impact how they show up, impact how they navigate. And typically it's someone else's opinion, like it was in my position. It was their opinion on how we were navigating it, but it was their opinion from their couch at home, probably in sunny Florida, when we were in a hurricane in Mississippi. And so how could you possibly have an opinion if you're not even in vicinity that we're in, right? But that's the thing with life, like with parenting and with spouses and with business. One moment could completely derail us. And then we're willing to throw away 99.76% of everything, all the efforts and all the, whatever we're doing. My point is someone else's opinion of 0.24%. And so the quote that I said on stage is my quote. And it says, don't let someone else's opinion of 0.24% of your journey impact how you proceed. If you're the one showing up with honesty and integrity, with mud on your face, you're the one in the arena. They don't get to have an opinion. And most people get derailed in life because they give in to someone else's opinion when that other person didn't even have the courage to show up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's such a valuable lesson. It's also, positive energy, negative energy are both very, very contagious, right? And it's like, who do you want to be associated with, right? People that are uplifting you or people that are bringing you down, right? So you do the 50 and 50, which is incredible. I mean, remarkable. And then you decide, talk to us about the decision then to say, all right, I'm going to go for 100 and 100, which ended up being 101 and 101. But tell us about that thought process and then how you jumped into it and just and conquered it.
Yeah, it's a great segue from the last bit of information we were talking about, because those were quote unquote mistakes that we had made in the public's eye. And they were that we didn't execute to perfection. We were doing something that nobody had done before. And so there was no rule book. We were creating the blueprint for this kind of thing. And I love it now because we were pioneers in this. I mean, we started doing this in 2010 and social media wasn't even a thing. And now we're starting to see so many people attempt really big adventures and things to push their mind and their body. And so the decision to do the 100 was, I live my life in a way that I've never made a mistake. Now that's a lie. I've made a lot of mistakes, obviously. But when I make a mistake, I try to learn from it and I want to do it better. And when the pandemic hit, it erased my calendar, like everybody's. Like, no more speaking, no more coaching, no more racing. All of it disappeared overnight. And always in the back of my mind, I was like, I want to redo the 50 because I can do it better. But 5 years had elapsed and my kids were older and they're in high school. It would have been impossible for our family to duplicate that. And so I thought to myself, well, I don't want to do the same thing again. I want to do it better and I want to do it bigger. And so I thought, let's do 75 because I'm good friends with Andy Frisella. And I was a small catalyst in the 75 hard program. So I was like, 75, that would be really cool. But then I'm like, well, that doesn't really scare me. And so then I finally settled on 100. And I was like, the concept quickly became, if I removed chaos, confusions, logistics, and I put systems, teams, and learning in place, could I double what everybody said was impossible? Could I defy logic? And that became the push behind what we were doing is I can do this better. And I want to learn from my mistakes in the past. And I really want to showcase that I did what I said the first time. And I'm going to double it. And I'm going to put my entire career on the line. And every accolade that I've ever had, I'm going to put that on the table and let's go.
That's
incredible. I mean, there's some clips of like what you were going through that you showed and just the ability to like fight through it. It was really, really cool to see.
So cool.
It was so funny. I went and spoke to a risk management company this past year, and a couple of the comments and feedbacks was like, that was an amazing speaker, but we're not sure if he was the best example of how to do risk management. And so I kind of took a step back and I was like, oh yeah, I can kind of see that point. But then in the same breath, I was like, you also missed the point in the messaging that I was trying to convey.
Yeah, I will say, so a few weeks after you spoke, I was running the New York Marathon and I was limping in with like a hamstring. So I couldn't train for more than like as much as I wanted to with the hammy. But I was like, as I was running the marathon, I'm like, man, this is nothing. I can hobble through with a screwed up hamstring, for one, this marathon. And I thought about the 101. So anyway, good stuff.
Well, you guys heard me say from stage as I was closing that I start with it and I finish with it. And my goal is to do two things. One, give you hope on the journey that you're on. And then two, I think is more important, it's to remove excuses that may exist on your journey. And just like you were like, I don't have an excuse. I've got to get across the finish line of the New York City Marathon. This is just a situation I'm in, and this is what I have to do and navigate and figure out. It's not an excuse to stop going. There's options in order for us to move the needle forward. And that's the same way with life and in business and all the things. So I appreciate you limping across the New York Marathon finish line. It's one of the races I still want to do. I've heard the energy is amazing. To run through all the 5 boroughs is really cool.
It's awesome. I've done it 5 or 6 times now, and like it's
cool.
I've done all the big ones. It's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I might try to get in this next year.
Yeah, you should.
So James, Bill and I were going over your resume, and obviously you have so many awards and accolades and Guinness World Records and everything. If you had to boil it down to one thing, what are you most proud of?
Oh man, recently it's being a grandfather. I mean, just so cool. Yes. It's so cool to see your kids come into a space, come into their own, knowing that all the hard work and sacrifice that you've done with those kids is now, allowing them to start to have their own lives and their own thoughts and process and all these things. And so I really, at the end of the day, I really want to be known for the hero in my own home and raising a great family and being the husband and then now being a grandfather and living life, having experiences. You may remember me saying this too. It's not about getting to the mountaintop. It's how many people can you bring with you to the mountaintop. And I think a lot of people, I tried to, and I think a lot of people miss that point is they're like, pound your chest and get to the mountaintop. And then when you're there, do the like hero pose and all that. And I'm like, that's not it. You're going to get to that mountaintop by yourself and you're going to be miserable. Just ask David Goggins.
Yeah. Great point. Good reference. I'm not surprised you said family because watching your documentary, listening to you on stage, before the show, you talking about family. You're a huge family guy. Tell us about, your family went on this journey with you. I don't know if I assume they did the 101 as well, but I know certainly they were with you every day in the 50-50. What was that like having your family as a part of it, and what are they doing now?
Yeah, massive part of the entire journey. And we took a lot, there's always criticism, but we took a lot of criticism when we announced the dates of the 50 because it was end of May, all of June, and all of July. And I don't know if you've ever been to the South, but it's damn hot and it's humid and it's like the worst 2 months of the year to do this kind of campaign. And I said, I refuse to do this without my family. And that's when they're out of school and they're coming with, and we got that motorhome and we all piled into it and we had an amazing adventure. And each kid rose to their own level at their own desires to pitch in and help out and have the experience that they wanted. And then fast forward to the 100.
Even your mom, right? Even your mom.
Yeah, my mom came out and ran some of the 5Ks with us and did a bunch of things. We had thousands of people come out across the country, and my kids got a front row seat. In fact, one of the compliments we got all the time was like, we are like, my two oldest daughters were 11 and 12. And the comments kept being, we're like, we're so impressed with your kids, because they were running the shirt stand and they were running the 5K, and like they were involved with all the people that came out, and they were just like, we can't believe your kids looked at us when we talked to them, and they are, we're articulate and all these things. And I'm like, that's incredibly sad that that's the observation. And that says something a lot about today's society and the problems with phones and social media. And so that was just such a great compliment. And then during the 100, when it was all based here at my home, it was so beautiful because, again, my kids got to participate at the level they wanted to. My 11-year-old son ran 7 marathons with me, and all my kids ended up doing certain courses with it. My oldest daughter ran the entire campaign from start to finish, and she's now full-time with my company on this side of things. And so all my kids are great. My 2 oldest are married, 3 grandkids this year. My 3rd oldest is serving a church mission in Toronto, Canada for 18 months. I've got a senior in high school still. And then my son, those are 4 girls. Now my son is the youngest, and he's big into lacrosse, and he just wants to go play at a college, and they're all great students. And so it's just a lot of fun to watch them and have them be part of this. You really get a front row seat to chaos, confusion, but also goals, desires, passions, purpose, all of the things. And so I think it was a gift for them to have a front row seat and be on that journey with us.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. And talk about like teaching grit, firsthand. That's it, it right there. So you've done a lot. We're here just starting kind of the new year, 2026. What are your goals for this year?
Yeah, it's interesting. So we are coming up on 5 years removed from the Conquer 100. And it took me a very long time to heal, recover emotionally, mentally, physically, family, like just everything. It was a massive recovery, 2-3 years to do that. And I'm really done with big challenges where I'm just intentionally suffering. It just doesn't change the messaging or the purpose of why I was doing that. And I kind of sat down, and just in my soul, I was like, why did I start this whole journey? Like, what was the beginning? And it was fun. It was passion. It was community. It was racing. It was pushing limit. It was all these things, but like in a single day, right? All the training and everything you learn to go to the event. And so 2026, I turned 50 this year. And I want to kind of go back to my grassroots beginning and just get back to speed and health and balance. I want a PR late this season in an Ironman. I think I can go sub 10 as a 50-year-old. And I think that'd really make me happy. And this one's for me. This one's solely for me. It's going to be a different kind of pain, a different kind of sacrifice. It's going to take a lot of work between today and that race in October. And then I'm just going to do something really fun every single month, just to challenge myself, whether it's physical or mental or relationships or spiritual or whatever it is. I'm just going to do a unique challenge every single month that'll kind of finish with that full Ironman.
Awesome. And October, that's a little early for, right? That must be California.
Yeah, it is. It's Sacramento, California, okay. October 19th.
Awesome. Excellent.
Well, James, I'm betting on you. Yeah. So
me too, for sure.
But no, this is it's been great to have you on. The message is great. I know it's
incredible.
You have a book as well, don't you? Do you have a book?
Yeah, we have 2 books. We've got Redefine Impossible, and we've got Iron Hope. The Redefine Impossible is the first one. It's autobiography and the adventure of the 50 Ironmans, 50 days, 50 states. And then Iron Hope is lessons I've learned over my entire career, and then really leaned into some very pivotal moments that happened on the Conquer 100. So this one is autobiography storytelling, and then this one is storytelling, but with some prescriptive, really valuable life lessons that you can take away. And then there's also the 2 documentaries on Amazon Prime, Iron Cowboy and Conquer 100.
Excellent. We'll put the links to all of this in the footnotes here. James, we were really excited to have you on. You fulfilled everything we thought it would be. Thank you so much. Can't wait to hear what your PR is in October. And Happy New Year and best of luck to you this year.
Awesome, man. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Bill. Happy New Year to you guys and everybody listening as well.
Thanks a lot.
You bet it. Have a great year.
Awesome.
All right, man. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, James.